Brown, so looks like the first review for Supergirl movie. It is out on Rotten Tomato, and when I look at this movie score, wow, I'm really surprised. Same time, if you have seen the trailer, obviously the first teaser trailer, it was not well received the way Supergirl acted in the first trailer. I was like, whoa, she's acting this drunk Supergirl, kind of like, Gun of the Galaxy type movie, it looked like. And then, of course, the full trailer came out, which included Lobo, and that trailer, a lot of people did like, but it was, by the time, it was too late, obviously. The first teaser never created any buzz for this movie. Of course, when the full trailer came, it was already too late. That means when the first earlier review came out, some people did say like they will be like they're doing Kara's origin story. When I heard that plot line, I was personally excited. I want to see, her backstory or whatever. But sounds like based on some of this review, they did not do that here. And I'm like, well, that's really disappointed. That's the only thing I was excited to see. That means, of course, this movie sitting on Rotten Tomato is, the score is like really bad. And of course, before this movie came out, all this, obviously all this hate channel online, they were making so many videos on Millie Alcock because of her interview on Variety. Honestly, I really thought, people are really hating on this movie too much for no reason. So I did have some hope, if I'm being honest here. I thought this movie will be decent. I certainly thought this movie will be at least fresh on Rotten Tomato. And I see today some people are trying to blame the director, and I'm here like every review I read today, everyone is saying this movie, it is like, like Garden of the Galaxy, like Marvel's Garden of the Galaxy version of Supergirl movie. To me feels like James Gunn, he just a one trick pony, right? Like he just do one kind of movie. I know a lot of people like Superman movie. I personally thought that movie really had a lot of potential. It wasn't as good as people say online, honestly. That is the reason it is not a that hit. It's like a mild hit movie. Although it did do good at the domestic market, but international market, Superman did not do that good. So, if you want to be successful DC studio movie, you have to do good at international market, not just domestic. That's how Aquaman was able to make $1 billion. Then again, the first Batman movie with the Robert Pattinson, it was also like, I would say like a mild hit, like it's made 700 something, but it was like it did have a big budget. So once again, that movie, I thought it was okay. But honestly, Supergirl movie, how do you get it wrong? Like, this is so easy story to tell. How could you mess it up? If you have seen CW version Supergirl, that show is so good. How could James Gunn do this? Obviously, he took the route for this movie. It's not going to be accepted by normal audience. It will be a huge flop. I know a lot of hate channel already making all these 1,000 video on this. I guess the biggest problem with the Supergirl movie, it is the script, and the villains so weak, and the story itself is not that interesting. Like, how many people will go out and see this? Although earlier first reaction, people said the Kara's backstory is good. And now nobody mentioned that. So this movie is not that either, I guess. Like, what? I guess this movie will be huge flop for DC studio. I know James Gunn will just blame the director, and I'm here like, bro, you directed this. Like, you did this. You probably edited this movie with him. Like, Gillespie, right? Gillespie made I, Tanya. If you've seen I, Tanya, is actually very good movie. Like, I personally did like that movie. So, he's not a bad director. But this isn't his take on Supergirl either. This is James Gunn, this is your movie. Don't try to blame other people for your mistake. That being said, of course, this movie's review, man, I don't see anybody praising this movie. But I do want to emphasize, nobody's saying this movie is that bad either. Like, this is sitting like 57%, meaning like based on now, And some people did like it, obviously, but majority people didn't. That is what it means, I guess. Like, everyone is saying the way this movie looks bad, the cinematography, story, and the planet, and what is it about? That is the people's biggest problem. However, some people did say they do like Lobo, of course, played by Jason Momoa. He's always likable on screen. You cannot dislike that guy. He's Like he always finds a way to be good in any movies, right? Even he was good in Minecraft. People liked him. People like Jason Momoa. That's the thing about him, right? Like, so I feel like, yeah, if anybody wanna blame for failure for this movie, blame James Gunn. That guy just only knows make one kind of movie, and that is Garden of the Galaxy. He's definitely one trick pony. To in my book, I know a lot of people like him. And then again, these are not a huge amount of people like him, right? Like, because his movies are not doing that great, and he's not able to appeal to international audience, which is huge deal. This guy, he doesn't know how to make blockbuster. Although James Gunn is like, I cannot like watch his movie. Don't think about Guardian of the Galaxy. The movie made him so famous that he got this gig. Looks like that's the movie who will get him fired from DCU, if I'm not wrong, honestly. I know a lot of people will be commenting and they're excited for this movie. Let's see how it does. But for now, looks like this movie is getting really low at the Rotten Tomato score. And that was my thought on this. Let me know in the comment, what do you think about this review? If you enjoyed this video, don't watch other videos on other topics. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.